Early predictions for 2025, man. I mean, I know the year just changed over and it's not even an hour after the game, but let's just go ahead and do it, man. Let's go ahead and do it. They're getting that fourth place NFC South schedule. So they'll end up. I, I, I really don't know kind of what to think at this point because there are, like we said before in that last segment, so many unknowns in terms of who the coach will be and what kind of system will this be. Is this a bridge year? Is this a okay? We're back in a year because it seems like from what we've seen with Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay, they haven't figured out. Atlanta, they switched to Penix because the Kirk Cousins experiment wasn't going as planned. So I mean, they went toe to toe with Carolina today. Who knows what Carolina is going to be? But you have Bryce Young and Michael Penix now in the division. So I don't know who the quarterback is going to be, and that's going to determine a lot of things for me going forward. But taking a look at the schedule right here, of course, you have your division guys, but then you have the Cardinals, you have the 49ers, Patriots, Jets, and the Giants. And then after that division again, Bills, Super Bowl caliber team. Got to see Caleb Williams. Got to go to see Stafford going to Miami, Geno Smith and the Seahawks, and then the Tennessee Titans, which kind of has a win right now. I don't know what the Titans can do. They're kind of in that position of in between of, oh, we don't have a quarterback and we don't know what to do going forward. So kind of what are your early thoughts for next season?
How many games do you think they can win? I mean,
realistically, I don't know why I wouldn't put them fourth in the NFC South right now.
Yeah,
I mean, honesty,
yeah,
they're not. There's nothing in place to tell me that this is going to be a team that's better than that.
Yeah,
that's it's not sad, but it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could probably beat each division opponent once. So let's go 3-3 to start.
Mm-hmm.
Arizona, did they beat Arizona?
No.
3-4. Don't beat San Fran. 3-5. Yes. Might beat the Patriots. So we're at 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
They could beat the
Jets because the Jets don't know what they're gonna be.
They could beat both these teams, but let's split them. The Jets and the Giants. Let's split them. So that what do we have, Matt? 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
So 5-5, 5-6. Lose to the Bills. 5-7. Road game against the Bears.
Second year Caleb Williams. Who knows?
5-8. We'll go 5-8.
Okay.
Lose to the Rams. 5-9. Lose to the Dolphins. 5-10. Lose to the Seahawks. 5-11. We'll give them a win over the Titans. 6-11. And they could obviously like beat the Bears to get to like 7 wins, but I think that's probably where they're at. I mean, we don't even know who the quarterback is right now. If it's if it's Carr, I'll give him plus a win probably. If it's not, I mean, I'll take one away. It could go either way with the quarterbacks, but I would move on. Like I would move on. That would be and I think they have to. I think you have to move on at this point from him. I think it's time to do it. I think I've seen enough to move on. Like I have. Yeah. And I don't think Spencer's better than Carr right now, but I'm not riding with Carr. I think he keeps you competitive, and if you can't win with him, then you just draft somebody else.
You don't want to end up in the position, not saying that they're the same player, but similar position like in Tennessee when Ryan Tannehill was coming in, winning games, even took them to the playoffs at a certain point, but then the wheels fell off and you didn't know what to do, so you scrambled. You got the guy from Liberty, and he just played for Green Bay, Malik Willis. Yeah. And then he wasn't the answer because you pulled the plug on him too early. Now you go over to Will Levis, and now you're at a spot where you've gotten 2 quarterbacks in recent drafts and still haven't figured out that position yet. We talked about the Patriots being on the list next year. They're not going to have the same head coach, Jerome Mayo. He got fired after 1 season already. So the coaching pool for the Saints now gets harder because, I mean, Vrabel has history up there. He has ties up there. He used to play up there. So who knows what that is. So I don't know, man. The amount of unknowns just as a whole with not just the Saints, but the league kind of in a certain sense, it's kind of tough. But really, you don't want to beat Tennessee. I think that's a great comp at this point that you don't want to end up just keep on throwing darts at the board and continue to mess. Like you got to have a calculated move. And if that move is moving on from Carr right now, going to Rattler, let him develop from playing just one good half to a good half and a quarter, that's a step in the right direction.
I just pulled this up because Malik Willis was 10 of 13, 136 yards today. Like what? Like it's in
Freezing cold out there too.
the Packers quarterback development, like from coach to coach as an organization, is just absolutely that's absolutely insane. Yeah, but I would be ready to move on at that position. Like I'm just not sold on them chasing this with Carr. But the thing I'm most worried about, I think, with the Saints right now is just kind of I think it's realistic and it's a real fear that there is kind of something in their DNA where they kind of feel like hold on with a lot of stuff. And I said it in the pregame show. They just do that. Like they the goal is win the South, try to do this. Like let's not let it go. Like it's not that far away. We can win it. And like I think you just have to look at 25 as a bridge to 26 and what's going to make you better in 26 and be aiming a little bit higher. And I don't want to see them just kind of bring it all back, pack it all together, hope for the best. And like, man, like that's not good enough to me. It's not good enough. In last year, I think they felt emboldened by that thought process because you saw the Bucks get in the playoffs and win a playoff game. I hope something doesn't happen this year to where they get emboldened by it again. Like, I think it's just time to like let it go.
And that
let it go.
And that whole the Bucks get into the playoffs and win a playoff game. That's when the Eagles were self-destructing. So they got in there and caught an Eagles team that was completely just tail spinning, and you caught them lacking, and you were able to get that. But then when they played an actual playoff team, they got the hammer. So
I mean, but the NFC does suck. Like, so they
very much so true.
Like, so it emboldens them into that thinking of let's just try to win the division. And I think for a minute it made sense, but it's just I've watched it too many times now, and it's just like this is pointless. Like it's no longer a worthwhile.
And you can even be rewarded for that mind frame of moving on. Look at the Minnesota Vikings. They moved on from Kirk Cousins. Drafted JJ McCarthy. Didn't know kind of what he was going to be. He wasn't, of course, the first choice at quarterback coming out of this quarterback pool, but Sam Darnold taking them to where tonight when they play, they could be the first seed in the NFC. So moving on is not a bad thing. Just try, because what you tried before is not working right now. It's not working. It hasn't worked. You don't have Drew Brees in the building anymore. You don't have stalwarts at different positions that can keep you in there for a good amount of time. You have people that are on the back half that are, lining up where that final destination is going to be, whether they retire or decide to explore other options. And I think it's irresponsible if you continue on that road of, okay, we can do it again. Let's try it again. Because everybody around you is going to get better in some type of way, and you're not going to be able to keep up. And you continue to try to hold on to things. You haven't held on to the right things when you should have. Trey Hendrickson, you saw last night in Cincinnati, definitely doing his thing. Even in a certain sense, Zach Bond, not really, because that might have been more of a solo effort, and DA just not putting him in the right positions to be successful. But he's in Philadelphia right now doing it. Like, stop making other teams better by getting the players and having them and then giving them away for cheap. And now the other team's like, well, I got this guy for cheap for X amount of years. He's already has veteran experience. Just move on. Just move on. That's how I feel personally. But
no, it's definitely time to start over.